state. Undertakings only by the state. What is the meaning of state? What is Article 13 in Constitution? The state is defined. Government of India, government of a state. The state means government. So this is undertaking only by the state. Coal, write in bracket, coal, iron and steel, aircraft manufacturing, shipbuilding, telephone, telegraph, etc. Number 3, industries to be regulated by the state. Industries to be regulated by the state. Industries to be regulated by the state. Regulated by the state. Write in bracket, these are industries of basic importance. These are industries of basic importance. Basic importance. Actually, basic industries are industries which are basic for the economic development of any country. Number 4, open to private enterprise. Open to private enterprise. You can write in bracket all remaining industries. All remaining industries. So here important point is IPR 1948 classified all the industries into 4 categories. Into 4 categories. In these 4 categories, what is the first category? Exclusive monopoly of the central government. Tatas, they entered into almost every industry. But is there any Tata's company which produces arms, ammunition, atomic energy, railways? This is the reason. Okay, IPR 1948. Then, after 8 years, now heading IPR 1956. IPR 1956. You can see frequently questions in prelims about IPR 1956. Background. Actually, IPR 1948 was there. Why it is changed? There must be certain reason. Background. Number 1, a new constitution came into force. A new constitution came into force. A new constitution came into force. Tell me when new constitution came into force, which date? Earlier, we have seen IPR 1948. But the new constitution came in 1949, November 26. So this constitution promised, what is the essence of directive principles? Welfare of the people. So how welfare can be provided to the people? Through economic policies. In order to implement the spirit of directive principles, there must be changes in the economic policies of the government. So that is first. Number 2, completion of the first 5-year plan. Completion of the first 5-year plan. What was the period of first 5-year plan? 1951 to 56. 51 to 56. So 5-year plan was an experiment. 5-year plan was an experience. And if there is anybody here who gave one attempt, there will be a lot of difference in your approach or in your orientation after giving prelims, after writing exam. A student really understands what to study at 5 o'clock on prelims day after coming out of examination hall. A student will understand how to prepare for mains after writing mains exams once. Why many friends are taking many years, many meritorious students, many college toppers, many IIT toppers, why they are taking many years? Because here what is happening, 1 year is going for basics. 1 year is going for basics. Next year, when somebody is sitting and studying without classes, if there is any doubt, only support is Google. Is Google better than a teacher? So that is why, irrespective of academic background, if anybody wants to crack civils exam in 1 attempt or 2 attempts, there are 2 things you should know. Only 2 things. What to study, how to study. What to study? How to study. What to study means what is the correct material. What are the 3 Ratnas in Buddhism? Right knowledge, right faith, right action. Right knowledge means a selection of correct book. Right faith means believing that book. Right action means reading that 10 times. If you refer 10 books for Indian economy, you will become a scholar. If you select a single book and read it 10 times, you will become IAS. And same formula for any subject. Same formula for any subject. If you read more books for same subject, you will be a scholar. You can teach. If you study one material, one book 10 times, you can book tickets to Missouri. So those who study more can roam in Ashok Nagar. Who study more times can live Ashok Nagar. So to be or not to be. So please remember, one book 10 times. Or select a teacher, believe a teacher, and follow the teacher, whatever the teacher is suggesting. That is what to study. How to study. Please remember these 2 things. What to study, how to study. You take any topper, you read any interview. At the end of the day, these are the 2 things. How to study, what to study, how to study. Number 3, Morarji Desai was Minister for Industries. Morarji Desai was a Minister for Industries. Actually, he was Gujarat Chief Minister. 1956, what was the specialty regarding states? Reorganization of states. States reorganization. Which committee? Which commission? Fazl Ali Commission. So after the reorganization of states from Gujarat politics or Mumbai state politics, Morarji Desai came to national politics. He was the Minister for Industries. In 1948, who was Prime Minister? Nehru. In 1956, who was Prime Minister? Nehru. Okay, now features of IPR 1956. Features of IPR 1956, number 1. This policy laid the basic framework. This policy laid the basic framework of India's industrial policy. This policy laid the basic framework of India's industrial policy. Which is led by public sector, public sector, which is led by public sector, which is led by public sector. Number 2, this policy was called Economic Constitution of India. This policy was called Economic Constitution of India. You can see this point in many previous prelims questions. Economic Constitution of India. So whatever we have regular constitution, that is political and administrative. This is economic. Number 3, tell me, in IPR 1948, all the industries were classified into how many categories? 4. Number 3, industries were classified into 3 categories. Industries were classified into 3 categories. 3 categories. Write in next line. Schedule A. Schedule A. Schedule A. 17 public sector undertakings. 17 public sector undertakings. 17 public sector undertakings. Schedule B. Schedule B, 12 industries. 12 industries. In a mixed sector, progressively owned by the state. Progressively owned by the state. What is this sector? Mixed sector. What is Schedule A? Completely owned by government. What is the mixed sector? Progressively owned by the state. For example, here 90% government equity, 10% private equity, and management will be under whose control? Or 60% owned by the state, 40% owned by the shareholders, stakeholders. Management will be progressively owned by the state, means management will be under the control of the state. Schedule C. Schedule C, all private industries. All private industries. So what is the major change? IPR 1948, 4 categories. IPR 1956, 3 categories. There, exclusively state-owned. How many items? 4 items. Arms, ammunition, atomic energy, railways. Here how many? 17. 17. And write the 4th point in the features. We are discussing about features of IPR 1956, 4th point. This has provisions for public sector domination. Provisions for small a, public sector domination. Small b, small scale industries. Small scale industries. small c, foreign investments. Foreign investments. Foreign investments. So this is IPR 1956. This is called Economic Constitution of India. And 1956 and economic reforms, which year? 1991. Directly or indirectly, till 1991, economic policy of Government of India was driven by IPR 1956. But between 1956 to 1991, there were changes of government, there were changes of prime ministers. When a new government is formed, there will be some new ideology. When a new leader becomes a prime minister, definitely there may be or there will be some change in ideology. Write next sentence. It is not a fifth sentence. Features are over. Write next line. To meet new challenges from time to time. To meet new challenges from time to time. Economy is static or dynamic? Dynamic. Every day there must be revision. So to meet new challenges from time to time, IPR 1956 IPR 1956 was modified through industrial policy statements, IPS, industrial policy statements in 1973, 1977 and 1980. There must be some speciality to these years. 1973, what is the special or speciality? Because 1956, Congress government, 1973, Congress government, 1973, who was the Prime Minister? Indira Gandhi. Okay. What is 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act? Mini Constitution. That's all. What are the three letters which are added to preamble? Socialist, secular, Republic was there in the beginning. Integrity. So this is important. 42nd Amendment of the Constitution added the word socialist. So what is the year of 42nd Amendment? 1976. I'm sorry, this is a little later. But even in original Constitution, when we discuss about 42nd Constitutional Amendment of 1976, frequently you can see in mains papers, though the word socialist and secular were not mentioned in the preamble or any part of the Constitution, the spirit was there. The spirit was there. And one more point. What is the year of Land Reform Acts? Andhra Pradesh Land Reform Act 1973. Because agriculture is which subject? State subject. So Land Reform Acts must be enacted by Parliament or assemblies? Assemblies. So all over the country, Land Reform Acts were made. There are some changes in the country. According to those changes, there must be changes in economic ideology of the state. And 1977, what was the major political change? 1977, first non-Congress government. 1952, Congress. 1957, Congress. 1962, Congress. 1967, Congress. 1971, Congress. 1977, first time a non-Congress government. What is that? Janata Party, Janata government, Prime Minister Morarji Desai. Prime Minister Morarji Desai, External Affairs Minister Vajpayee, and Information and Broadcasting L.K. Advani. So, here, change in the government. Naturally, there will be change in. When Chandrababu Naidu was Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, he declared that Amaravati is the capital of Andhra Pradesh. When Jagan Mohan Reddy came to power, he declared that Visakhapatnam, Amaravati, Kurnool, 3 capitals. Again, when there is change in the government, it is declared that back to pavilion. Okay, Rashtra? Chapandi, okay, Rashtra? Thank you. So that is why, whenever there is a change in government, normally there will be changes in. Here, 𝐾𝐶R government was focusing on development of a Hyderabad area. Now Revant Reddy, he wants to create his own image. Now he is focusing on fourth city. Hyderabad, Secunderabad, Cyberabad. Where is the fourth city? Pharma city. Srisailam Highway. Mucherla, not Vikarabad. Srisailam Highway. So please remember, in next 10-15 years, like Cyberabad area, Revant Reddy wants to develop fourth city. Delhi is a city of 7 cities. Actually, Hyderabad is already a city of 4 cities. Hyderabad, where Hyderabad is started around Charminar. Present old city is the original Hyderabad. Then from Charminar area, the city came to Afzalganj. From Afzalganj, city came to Koti for shopping. From Koti, city came to Abids. From Abids, city came to Nampalli because of railway station. From Nampalli, city came to Lakdikapur. From Lakdikapur, city came to Srinagar Colony. After Srinagar Colony, tell me. After Srinagar Colony, city went to Banjara Hills, Jubilee Hills, Madhapur, Gachibowli, Shamshabad. Hyderabad completed full circle. Hyderabad completed full circle. Now the doubt is, where is Dilshuk Nagar? Where is Kokatpalli? Where is all these areas? Please remember, this is the original growth of Hyderabad city. Outside these areas, all are people who migrated from outside and settled here. So after Panjagutta, settlers. After Malakpeta, settlers. Around city, whatever other areas, they are areas of settlers. So already Hyderabad is a city, Secunderabad is a city, Cyberabad is a city, Shamshabad is a city. Delhi is a city of 7 cities. So now, heading new economic reforms. Economic reforms dash new economic policy 1991. Economic reforms dash new economic policy 1991. When I was talking about evolution of Hyderabad city, somebody was asking about Ashok Nagar RTC Crossroad. These are all agricultural lands. These are all agricultural lands. ఇవన్నీ పొలాలు. ఈ పొలాలకి నీళ్లు పెట్టడానికి అక్కడ ఒక చెరువు ఉంది, ట్యాంక్. అక్కడ ఒక చెరువు ఉంది. ఆ చెరువు పేరు హుస్సేన్ సాగర్. So these are all agricultural lands. Slowly, because of the increased population, when Hyderabad city foundation was laid, Kolikapudi Shah, he prayed God to fill Hyderabad city with the people as a pond is filled with fish. So God heard his prayer. Today Hyderabad is city of really in last 25 years 25 years back Hyderabad population was 25 lakh. Today it is 1 crore 25 lakh. It is all because of IT revolution and economic development and because of LPG. Just because of LPG, a historical city Hyderabad became most developed city. Before IT revolution, before Chandrababu Naidu, Hyderabad was historical city. 25 years back, 30 years back, Hyderabad means Charminar. Hyderabad means Golconda Fort. Hyderabad means Salajang Museum. Hyderabad means Jama Masjid. Hyderabad means Nehru Zoological Park. Hyderabad means Tank Bund. But today, people started calling this area as Old City. The new Hyderabad is, after few minutes, I will mention some areas, because today almost the new Hyderabad is equal to any developed city in Western world. If you go to some areas of Hyderabad city. So come to economic reforms. Please write a change in the set of economic policies. A change in the set of economic policies from time to time. From time to time is called economic reforms. Is called economic reforms. I already told you, reform means a change. Revolution means complete change. Please remember, there can be a revolution without violence. There can be a revolution without bloodshed. There can be a revolution very peacefully. So now subheading background. Background. Number 1, 5-year plans. 5-year plans. 5-year plans. What was the period of first plan? 51-56. Second plan? 56-61. Third plan? 61-66. Fourth plan? After third plan, what happened? Rolling plans. Manchu Lakshmi. Rolling plans. Rolling plans. Five-year plans. Write in bracket goals and achievements. Goals and achievements. Actually, every 5-year plan had certain objectives, and by 1991, we have a list of achievements. There was a review. And number 2, socialistic pattern of society. Socialistic pattern of society. So you have to keep in mind 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, and it must be implemented. 42nd Amendment Act added the word socialism. Really very interesting. By the time The word socialism or socialist is added to preamble of Indian Constitution. In real socialist countries, they were becoming capitalist because of the ideological change. We come to that point. Today, is Russia a socialist economy? Is China a socialist economy? Or for that matter, is there any country which is following socialism in the world? Tell me. Is there any country which is following socialism or communism? Those who criticize socialism and communism, they say that today there is no socialism, there is no communism, there is only oneism, that is tourism. It is true, because tourism is very important component of market economy and capitalist economy. Number 2, socialistic pattern of society. Number 3, increasing population, unemployment and poverty. This is a change, please remember. Increasing population normally leads to unemployment. Unemployment leads to poverty. So these are our permanent friends. Number 4, please remember, as far as population is concerned, till recently governments forced people to control. Now South India chief ministers are requesting people to increase population. And they are quoting Elon Musk. Elon Musk, he has 12 children. Number 4, changes in the global economy. Changes in the global economy and technology. Changes in the global economy and technology. Number 5, availability of financial resources. Availability of financial resources in developed economies. So in backward, what is the first point? 5-year plans. So if you see economic planning in India, that is 5-year plans, unfortunately goals are not achieved. Why unfortunately majority or important objectives were not achieved? If you want to achieve economic targets or economic objectives, you need resources. Resources are how many types? Natural resources, capital or financial resources, and human resources. As far as land is concerned, land comes under natural resources, or we have manpower. But what about the quality of our skills? What about the quality of our skills? What about the quality of our skills? Even after completing BTech, we are going to Amirpeta. If there is no boom in Amirpet, then chalo Ashok Nagar. Please remember, the boom in Ashok Nagar is decided by boom in Amirpet. As long as boom is there in Amirpet, chalo from college to Amirpet, Amirpet to company. If there is no boom in Amirpet, chalo Ashok Nagar. So most of the objectives of our plans were not achieved because of lack of capital. Though we have natural resources, we need capital. We did not have capital. Why? Already we have seen, just before this we have seen, who are our 3 friends, permanent friends? Population, unemployment, poverty. Okay. In this poverty-ridden economy, what would be the range or size of savings? Savings will be less or nil. When there are no savings, can there be investment? Please remember, investment is decided by savings. Savings are decided by income. Income is decided by employment. But we have employment or unemployment? Unemployment. So, what is the second point? Socialistic pattern of society. Please remember, socialistic pattern of society, not economy. Even through 42nd Amendment of the Constitution, what is added? Socialistic pattern of society should be a goal of Indian administration. What is socialistic pattern of society? A society without economic inequalities. A society without economic inequalities. Can there be a society without economic inequalities? Can there be a society without economic inequalities? Please remember, as long as this mankind is existing, there will be inequalities because we are not equal in our capacity. We are not equal in our skills. We are not equal in our hard working or working. So, we are not equal. Since we are not equal, we cannot be equal. Dhirubhai Ambani, before his death, he gave 2% of his property to his wife, Kolikapudi. 2% daughter, 4% Mukesh, 4% Anil. Today, where is Mukesh? Where is Anil? When father distributed family property, Mukesh and Anil, they got equal. They got equal. Today, Mukesh and Anil, are they same or different? Tell me. Is it a small difference? Is it a small difference? For Ambani, for Anil, Mukesh is out of coverage area. Because of Jio. Today there is no comparison. At least now there are Rafael deals, some other deals, economically or financially settled Anil. Otherwise, 4 or 5 years back, Anil was looking this side and that side to commit suicide. Modi came and rescued. But Mukesh, growing, and no limit. Recently, if you see the marriage of Ananta, we studied in history about Shah Jahan, Hyderabad Nizam, and some other French rulers about luxury. Now, we watch it live, Anant Ambani. So the point is, equality cannot be forced. Equality, here all are attending same class, all are reading same books, following same material, everything is same, but in examination hall, answers are different because focus is different, grasping is different, and conceptualizing is different, reproduction levels are different, memory levels are different. Okay. And what is the fourth point? Third point already I explained. Changes in the global economy. 1 second. 1970s, 1970s, privatization was started in the world. This is a point for very important reference. 1970s was the beginning of privatization. Socialism was dominating earlier. So as a result, what happened? And one more point. There are developed economies, there are underdeveloped economies, there are least developed economies. These developed economies in population, they are smaller or bigger? Very smaller. So most of the developed economies, they accumulated lot of wealth beyond their needs. So they have surplus. Here, surplus is available. Here, starving. Here, starving. Now, opening our doors and allowing the donor is right or wrong. I'm not saying that begging. Opening the doors. And one more point. Those economies which have surplus, they want to invest. Those who have money, they want to keep it, they want to grow it. They want to grow it. So they want areas of investment. What are those areas of investment? So here, these areas need investment. These developed countries, they have surplus capital or surplus. So that is why this is about changes in the global economy, at the same time technology. And for fifth point is also same. Now, when surplus is available in developed economies, we have to use it. We have to use it because we need it. We don't have. In this background, right next point, all key and basic industries, all key and basic industries were exclusively reserved for public sector. We have seen in IPR 1948, IPR 1956. Were exclusively reserved for public sector. And public sector was not able to compete with global competition. Today we are in 2024. Listen, 1991 economic reforms were introduced. So it led to LPG, and we are in 2024. Even in 2024, please tell me one Indian production which is dominating global market. Show me one Indian production where we can say Mera Bharat Mahan. Our pens are imported, our watches are imported, our phones are at least foreign companies, and many people, they say that my shirt is imported. Majority goods we are using, they are produced by multinational companies. Okay, I'm coming to my basic question. We are in 2024. Show me one Indian production which is commanding global demand. Here, what is the sentence? All key and basic industries were exclusively reserved for public sector. Public sector was not able to compete with global competition. In Delhi, there is a place called Pragati Maidan. Like Hyderabad exhibition grounds, Pragati Maidan, an industrial exhibition is going on. So companies came from different countries and they put their stalls. Judges, they are coming to each stall. So they went to Germany. There is the latest computer. They have seen it and they gave some marks. Went to Japan. They came with some new technology. And they came to US. They came to all developed countries. And they were verifying one by one, giving marks. And they came to main gate. There one person is selling mirchi bhaji. An Indian is selling mirchi bhaji. And the judge, absent-minded judge, he went to that mirchi bhaji stall and studied mirchi bhaji and gave some marks. He had seen mirchi bhaji in and out and gave some marks and came to the dais and announced the first prize goes to mirchi bhaji. Then what will be the reaction of Japan, who came to the exhibition with a supercomputer? Will they accept?
No, sir.
And all these countries with the new technology, will they accept?
No, sir.
So they did not accept. They questioned the judgment. So we came with the latest technology, supercomputers and etc. What is there in mirchi bhaji? Then the judge explained. Judge justified his judgment. You came with a computer which can be dismantled. You can pack here. You can take home. You can assemble. You can work. Any computer is nothing but an assembly. Spare parts and assembly. You can break here. You can make in other place. Can you break and make a mirchi bhaji? Can you break and make a mirchi bhaji? Number one. Number two, without putting hole, mirchi is sent inside. Without putting hole, mirchi is sent inside. So, these are the jokes on our industrial development. These are the jokes on our industrial development. Even today, small countries are coming with the latest technologies. Immediately, some central minister comes out and he tells the media, during Vedic period, we have Pushpaka Viman. Immediately, a counter will come from our Puranas. Puranas are Puranas. They are not history. Puranas are written. History is something which happened. So, next sentence. All private investments were subjected to the policy of industrial licensing. All private investments were subjected to the policy of industrial licensing. Very frequently you hear this point. British Raj was followed by license Raj. For everything license. If you want to establish an industry, license. If you want to produce anything, license. If you want to sell it, license. If you want to export it, license. If you want to import something, license. If you want to expand the existing industry, license. And what is a license? You have to go to a government office, you have to apply, and Indian administration is known for which tapeism? Red tapeism. What is red tapeism? Delay in decision making, delay in approvals. So, a private investor who borrowed from a bank and paying interest, if he is kept waiting for months together, years together, what will happen to his investment? So, industrial licensing, it was a curse. Next point, free imports were not allowed. Free imports were not allowed. Why imports were not allowed? Can you guess? If pens are imported, what will happen to Or if foreign cloth is imported or allowed to import, what will happen to locally made cloth? If any item is imported, those who are making the same item in India will be affected. And one more point, most of the goods in developed countries, they are machine made. Best example, you take textiles, they are machine made. Indian sarees are handmade. So machine made, quantity of production will be more. When quantity of production is more, cost of production less. When cost of production is less, price will be less. So their items are cheaper and ours are handmade. Cost of production is more, price is more. And finally in the market, who will have demand? Cheaper goods. So imports were not allowed for this reason. Next point, multinational companies were not allowed. Multinational companies were not allowed to set up their units in India. Same reason. If a multinational company is allowed, and if the company is producing something, what will happen to the same item produced by Indian companies? That is the reason. Next point, all banks and financial institutions including stock market were controlled by the government. Please remember, bank creates savings. Banks create savings. Savings become investments. Investment decides production. Production decides employment. Employment decides income. Income decides consumption. Consumption decides standard of living. If standard of living is increasing, it is called development. If standard of living is declining, it is called poverty. Please remember, production, employment, income, consumption, standard of living. If there is no production, unemployment. Unemployment means no income. No income means no consumption. Then standard of living will be declining. Decline in standard of living is called poverty. Listen, if standard of living is increasing, it is called development. If standard of living is declining, it is called poverty. Development or poverty in any economy are decided by savings. Savings are decided by bank. Now, all of you have bank account. In your bank account, there is some amount. 1,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, whatever it is, you have some amount in your bank. Today, you have that amount because that is in bank. If it is in your purse, what happens? Tell me. If it is in your pocket, what happens? If money is readily available in our purse or in our pocket, will be spent. It will not be saved. You are saving by force. Now you link this point to Jan Dhan Yojana. What is the concept of Jan Dhan Yojana? Everybody should have bank account. Because if you have account, either it is 100 rupees or 1,000 rupees, there will be some amount of saving. Savings decide poverty, development or poverty. But here, the savings or banking activities are controlled by the government. Right in next slide. In short, right in next slide. The whole economic activity was under the strict control of the government. The private sector was at the mercy of the government, and had very limited opportunities. Once again, you go back and see IPR 1948, IPR 1956. What are left for private enterprises? Small scale industries. And even in that small scale industry, private capital, private enterprise were strictly controlled by the government. Right in next slide. This type of economic system produced both positive and negative results. Subheading positive. Here there are only 2 points in positive. First point, we developed a strong industrial base. Read this sentence again and again. We are discussing about 1948 to 1991 about our industries. We developed a strong industrial base. Please remember, in IPR 1948, in IPR 1956, all basic industries, key industries are exclusively reserved for public sector. Those public sector units were strictly maintained. That is our strength. Even today, BHL, we are proud of it. Is it Navaratna or Maharatna? BHL. It is Maharatna. So we have Maharatnas, we have Navaratnas, we have mini Ratnas. Really, they are Ratnas. Really, even today, they are the strong pillars of Indian economy. That is our positive point. The only bad news is we need 100 BHLs. We need more that type of public sector enterprises. That is first point. Second point, we achieved self-reliance in food grains. Tell me, what is the reason? Right in bracket, Green Revolution. So these are the two positive results till 1991. Subheading negative. Number one, our industry was not efficient. Again, I am asking the same question. Even today, is there any single Indian product which is commanding global demand? No answer? Really, this is very, 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 very unfortunate. Even For last 10 years, Prime Minister has been talking about Make in India. So, our industry was not efficient, could not face the global competition. Could not face the global competition. Could not face the global competition. Number two, in our achievements, what is the second one? Positive results? Self-reliance. Here number two, productivity in our agriculture was low. Productivity in our agriculture was low. Productivity in our agriculture was low. What is in merit, in positive, second point is self-reliance. Here in negative, second point is both are true. Both are true. Even today, Indian agriculture is suffering from low productivity. Why agriculture became loss-making profession? Everybody is getting profit. Everybody is getting profit. Where is Ram Reddy Hostel? Do you know Ram Reddy Hostel? Reddy Hostel. Who is the owner of the tea stall opposite R.C. Reddy? Is there tea stall? What is the name of that owner? Around 20 years back, a person came to Ashok Nagar by name Ram Reddy, started some tea stall. Later, within 10-15 years, he purchased 10 buildings in Ashok Nagar. Within 10 years, he purchased 10 buildings in Ashok Nagar, and in most of the buildings, he started ladies' hostels. Ram Reddy Hostel. Everybody is getting good profits except farmer. You take any businessman, there may be some ups and downs, but largely they are making money. But what about agriculture? Why we hear, even yesterday, I saw in newspaper in Andhra Pradesh, 2 farmers committed suicide. Why? Government is supporting in many ways in the name of different input subsidies. But why? Because of this point, low productivity. Third point, we could not promote exports. We could not promote exports. Tell me what is the reason? We could not promote exports because our industries are not efficient. If our industries are efficient, there would be demand. Since our industries are not efficient, there is no demand for our goods in global market. So we could not promote exports. At the same time, our imports were increasing. Our imports were increasing. What is wrong with imports? Please remember, when we are exporting, we get forex. We get forex. And when we are importing, we lose forex. We lose forex. So when we are importing more and losing more forex, actually any economy which is getting more forex will have more investments. And fourth point, government assumed more responsibility. Government assumed more responsibility than its capacity. Based on previous notes, explain this point. Government assumed more responsibility than its capacity. Because in IPR 1948, how many industries were exclusively reserved for public sector? IPR 1948, 4. 4 in first category. Second, progressively owned by the state. And IPR 1956, 17 plus 12. So if you see the list of industries which were taken by the public sector before 1991, most of them are key industries, basic industries, or heavy industries. Was there investment? Tell me, was there investment? So without investment, government declared that this industry will be established only by the government. Actually, there is investment with Ambani. There is investment with Tata. There is investment with, please remember, today we are discussing about Ambani's, we are discussing about Tata's, we are discussing about Birla's, leave Adani. And these Ambani's, Tata's, Birla's were there even before 1991. But Tata was not allowed, Kirloskar was not allowed, Birla was not allowed. And in 1969, there was a dangerous act, Monopolies Restrictive Trade Practices Act, MRTP Act, 1969. Monopolies Restrictive Trade Practices Act. So in order to prevent monopoly by a large industrial company or industrial family, business family, it is brought. Please remember, here there was capital with private companies. They are not allowed. Why they are not allowed? Please remember, before 1991, there was a capital was available with private companies, private industrialists. They were not allowed. Why they were not allowed? What is the objective of Indian administration? Establishing socialistic pattern of society. So the aim of Indian administration was establishing socialistic pattern of society. What is socialistic pattern of society? A society without economic inequalities. Without economic inequalities. So in order to establish economic equality, even those, for example, here, I wanted to see all are equal in marks. All are equal. I wanted to see everybody should get equal mark. Somebody is getting 35, somebody is getting 65, somebody is getting 85. If I want to see all are equal, I have to call this person after class, I have to take additional class, I have to improve his grasping, I have to make him work more, then I have to bring him to 75, and I have to increase his capacity. But that is very difficult. What I did, after class, I called these two people, closed the door, started beating, useless fellow. Why are you studying? I bet them till they said that, okay, we will not study. And in next exam, everybody got 35, we are equal. So this was the way equality was tried in Indian economy. So here, even before 1991, Tata Sawari, today, after his death, we are praising Ratan Tata. When he was alive, or before this Tata, Jamshedji was there. 1907. 1907 was the establishment of TISCO, Tata Iron and Steel Company. It was much before BISCO, Belai Iron and Steel Company. Much before RISCO, Rourkela Iron and Steel Company. Much before DISCO, Durgapur Iron and Steel Company. Because RISCO, BISCO, DISCO in public sector. In public sector, it was in Private sector. 1907. In 1907, 40 years before independence. 40 years before independence, an Indian was able to establish iron and steel company when Britishers were not allowing Indians to grow. And same Tata 10-15 years back purchased an iron and steel company in England. What is the name of that company? What is the name of that company? Because 100 years back, more than 100 years back, Tatas were not encouraged by the British to establish iron and steel company. And these Tatas purchased a British iron and steel company 15 years back. What is the name of that company? So in negative, point number, think about that British iron and steel company and tell me. Number 5, unemployment. 1 second. Number 5, population. Who are our 3 friends? Population, unemployment, poverty. Population, unemployment, poverty, inflation. A new friend is added. Inflation, etc. Inflation, etc. Emerged as our permanent companions. As our permanent companions. So we have 2 positive results, 5 negative results. Right in next line. Net result was point number 1. The economy as a whole lacked growth impulse. The economy as a whole lacked growth impulse. Growth impulse. Growth impulse. How many of you are preparing for group 2? Okay, nobody is raising hand, but you go and see group 2 examination hall, majority will be there. I feel very bad for one thing, that many of our friends of your degree class, okay, I give you direct example. You are here targeting civil service. Most of your degree classmates, some of them are preparing for constables. Your aim is IPS. Your friends are targeting constable. Your aim is IAS. Many of your friends are preparing for group 2, DSC, bank exam, VRO, and what not. Point is, whatever the effort a student is putting for constable or SI, same effort is required for IAS or IPS. And you go to rural areas, go to any degree college, you talk to students who are completing degree or completed degree, you ask them to prepare for civil services, their answer is, civil sa, nena, manava, nenu Telugu medium lo chadivanu, nenu ee college lo chadivanu. మా బంధువుల్లో ఇంతవరకు ఎవరు సివిల్ సర్వీస్ రాసిన వాళ్ళు లేరు. Growth impulse means fire to grow. Fire to grow. So earlier, at least till last year it was national. Now it is international. Now it is international. What is this sentence? The economy as a whole lacked growth impulse. Even many of you, 1 minute listen carefully. In 24 hours life, at a point of time you are feeling that I am studying very seriously. This year I am going to crack exam, I am going to get service. After few hours or after some time, by mistake I came to Ashok Nagar. All my friends are in Madhapur, Gachibowli, some companies, or some friends got married. So this is all because of lack of clarity, lack of confidence, and more important, because of lack of growth impulse. Fight to grow. Why a Telugu medium student cannot become IAS? Few years back, roughly 10 years back, All India third ranker Gopal Krishna, Telugu medium. One person, he gave prelims first attempt, failed. Gave second attempt, failed. Gave third attempt, failed. In those days, there were only 4 attempts for general category. 3 attempts continuously failed. Fourth attempt, prelims examination date, he was not waking up. Every day he was going to Indira Park and jogging, coming back, breaking fast, sitting and studying, writing practice, everything was good. That day he was not waking up. Roommate asked, today you have exam. Then he said, already I failed 3 times, even today same thing will happen. Then roommate said, 3 times UPSC told that you failed. Even 4th attempt you give chance to UPSC to say, you don't decide, let UPSC decide. Then roommate pushed him, and finally he went to exam, he qualified prelims, he qualified mains written, he went to interview. In interview, he wanted to make a Telugu. He wanted to make interview in regional board, Telugu. Then board chairman was trying to arrange a translator. In interview, there will be an administrative experience, an experienced person in public service, IPS, retired IPS or retired IAS. So there was a retired IPS, retired as a DGP, and he was member of a commission at national level. And he told chairman, sir, this boy he wants interview in Telugu. I can translate his answers. Okay, instead of getting additional translator, this administrative expert come translator. Then board members started asking questions, and this boy is giving answers based on his knowledge. But 40 years industry. Retired IPS officer, working as a member in a national commission, 40 years industry, he knows what type of answers can convince these members. So this boy is giving his answers, the translator is not listening his answers, he was giving his answers, and after 1 week results were out, single digit rank. I should not mention the rank because if I mention the rank, if you go back to Google, in last 20-25 years, who got single digit ranks in Andhra Pradesh, you can get his name. Now he is going to be finance secretary. Now already he is finance secretary in a state, principal secretary finance. He may become even chief secretary of that state. So 3 attempts continuously failed. And what was the medium? Single digit rank. So there are so many examples. And many Telugu medium friends, they feel that civil service is only for English medium, or civil service is only for IIT students, or civil service is only for urban students, something like that. So this is the case of every single youth in India. Lack of growth, impulse. Number 2, so please remember, every one of you is 1000% eligible to crack IAS in 1 or 2 attempts if you master 2 things: what to study, how to study. Second point, the government did not have the government did not have sufficient financial resources even to meet its own needs. What are own needs? Very frequently we hear about a financial crisis in states. Government is not able to give salaries. Till recently in Andhra Pradesh, what was every month a debate? First week debate, salaries, pensions. So it is there even today in many states. States are not able to give government employees salaries on first of every month. That was the condition before 1991. Third point, the government resorted to print new currency. To finance its expenditure. What is the above point? Above point is government did not have sufficient financial resources. Here immediately third point is government started printing. This has disastrous effect. In the form of what it is called? Inflation. Please remember, printing currency is not a solution. When government is not getting resources, even for its own needs, it has to either borrow or produce goods and sell in the market, but should not print. Printing currency or printing coins, one of the experiments made by Tughlaq. Tughlaq experimented with capital and currency. So please, what is inflation? Rise? Any one? Rise in the 1 second. For example, yesterday 100 rupees, today 200 rupees. Is it inflation? High? What is inflation? Whether it is high or low, that is different. Continuous increase in the price of a commodity is called 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 180, 200. Continuous increase. From 100 to 200, it jumped once and sitting there itself, it is not inflation. Okay, what is wrong with inflation? Because if there is inflation, producer gets or seller gets more profit. If seller is getting more profit, he will invest more. If he is investing more, there will be more production. If there is more production, there will be more employment, and more people will get income, more people will get consumption, more people's standard of living will be increasing, and it is called development. So inflation is good. So answer is, when price of an item is continuously increasing, purchasing power of the people decreases. When purchasing power is declining, consumption declines, production declines, employment declines, investment declines. When there is no investment, when employment is declining, that is enough. Please remember, unemployment is enough to destroy everything. Behind every revolution in world history, major reason is unemployment. Major reason, you take French Revolution, you take American Revolution, you take Russian Revolution, you take 1857 revolt. 1857 revolt, all unemployed participated. Who participated in 1857 revolt?
Not only Sipais, all the
Sipais, they lost the job, unemployed. Next,
farmers,
farmers because of agricultural distress. Next,
feudalist,
feudal lords, because earlier under Indian rulers, these feudal lords, they had employment and very good income. Next,
craftsmen,
come to leaders. Who are the leaders who participated in 1857 revolt? Those leaders, they lost their kingdoms. Those leaders, they lost their. Lakshmi Bai lost Jhansi. All Indian rulers who lost their kingdoms, they participated in 1857 revolt. And behind Indian national movement, unemployment, behind Telangana movement, who are the people behind Telangana movement? Unemployed. Please remember, unemployment will be the root cause of any revolution, any change in the world or in system. Fourth point, trade deficit began to widen. Trade deficit began to widen or began to increasing. What is the BOP? Balance of payments. If exports are more than imports, BOP will be surplus. If imports are more than exports, BOP will be deficit. If you have surplus, you can convert into your investment. If it is deficit, either you have to borrow. So here, trade deficit. Why trade deficit is increasing? Or why gap of trade deficit is widened? Because already we have seen our industries are efficient or not efficient? Not efficient. Since our industries are not efficient, there is no demand for Indian goods in global market. So nobody was asking for our goods. And at the same time, it doesn't mean that we don't have any item which it doesn't mean that we are not exporting. We are exporting. We are exporting some agrarian products. Or even today, there is no competition to Indian textiles. So what we are exporting? We are exporting agrarian products. We are importing costly technology, costly machinery. So whatever we are exporting, they are not economically very profit making. Even today, many food items we are exporting. We are exporting pickles. We are exporting sarees. We are exporting many jewelry items. Pedakalu. What we are exporting? We are exporting, but economically they are not very, very profitable. We are importing heavy machinery. We are importing latest technology. And for that we are paying more. And last point, foreign exchange reserves. Foreign exchange reserves almost fell to nil. Tell me what is the reason? We are only importing. We are not exporting. And sixth point, is it six? Neither foreign aid nor foreign capital was available. Neither foreign aid nor foreign capital was available. So no aid, no capital. No aid, no capital. And now, this is the background. What is your solution? 1948 to 1991, this was the way in which we ran our economy. This was the way we organized our economy. What is the net result? Net result is last 6 points. Last 6 points. And what is the sixth point? Neither foreign aid nor is available. Why aid was not available? Why aid was not available? Because anything foreign was not allowed. Foreign goods were not allowed. Why foreign goods were not allowed? In order to protect local market of our goods. Or foreign low investments were not allowed. Why foreign investments were not allowed? We were thinking that if an investor is allowed, he will come to India, invest his money and make huge profits and take India's money to his country, because we had experience with British. So for all these reasons, anything foreign was not allowed. And now we don't have food and we are not allowing neighbors to feed. What is the solution? This system, this policy should be continued or changed. With small changes or revolutionary changes. So subheading, New Economic Policy 1991. New Economic Policy 1991. Lunchtime. No lunch. Objectives. Objectives. Number 1. To consolidate fast gains. To consolidate fast gains. Already in positive results, what was the first point? Strong industrial base. Second point, self-reliance in food grain production. So, here first objective is to consolidate fast gains. Please remember, even before 1991, we had some achievements, but they were not sufficient to make India a developed economy. They were not sufficient to remove unemployment. They were not sufficient to remove poverty. Please remember. Please don't write. Population. Inflation should be controlled. Should be controlled. Poverty should be removed. Population should not be removed. Population, inflation should be controlled. Poverty should be, unemployment should be removed. Please remember, don't remove population. Number 2, to increase growth impulse in the economy. To increase growth impulse in the economy. So what was our major problem? Lack of growth impulse. So, you ask most of the civil servants, so what is your aim? Some service. If your answer is some service, don't expect IAS, because IAS is not your target. If your answer is some service, don't expect IAS, because IAS is not your target. If you want to expect IAS, what should be your target? IAS should be target. That is what is called growth impulse. Please remember. Number 3, to make our production units more efficient. To make our production units more efficient and more productive. More efficient and more productive. More efficient in case of industries, more productive both industries and agriculture. Because our agriculture is suffering from low productivity, even today. Number 4, to increase the competitive ability of our production units. To increase the competitive ability of our production units. Why parents are joining children in private schools? Why parents are joining in private schools or private colleges? Because of this sentence. We have government schools, government colleges. Very, very interesting is, in government schools, who are the teachers? In government schools, who are the teachers who qualified? Those who qualified DSC, they teach in government schools. Those who fail in DSC, they teach in private schools. Parents prefer? Parents prefer? Number 5, last objective, to make use of globally available resources. To make use of globally available resources. Globally available resources for our own growth and development. For our own growth and development. Last 20 minutes. Okay. If production is increasing, if income is increasing, listen, in an economy or for an individual, if your production is increasing, if your income is increasing, it is called growth. Along with, don't write, along with the increase in production and income, if there is development of education, if there is development of healthcare, so this they decide welfare. They decide welfare. So growth plus welfare is equal development. Growth plus welfare is equal. So whatever we grow physically, that is growth. Intellectual education, health, good environment, sanitation, all these come under development. Okay, these are the objectives. Subheading, major policy changes. Major policy changes. Major policy changes. Then I do one thing, after 5 minutes I stop for the day. I will complete the topic in next class. Okay, major policy changes, number 1. Now, is it clear about the background? IPR 1948, IPR 1956, positive results, negative results, net results, and by 1991, how was our economy? In that background, introduction of new economic policy in the name of economic reforms. Now, major policy changes. If you want to understand these policy changes, background must be, no, you need to understand the background. That is why I gave you background. First point, the policy of industrial licensing. the policy of industrial licensing was almost abolished. In one way, before 1991, government, Indian economy was under Bommarillu father. Before 1991, Indian economy was, the government played the role of Bommarillu father. He was thinking that he was giving everything, but people were not happy. The policy of industrial licensing was almost abolished. Please remember, immediately after independence, IPR 1948. In IPR 1948, this policy was introduced. If this policy was not introduced in 1948, imagine the change. So whatever happened between or before 1991, because of policy of industrial licensing, India was a developing economy. India is a developing economy. Please remember, here small clarity. In the beginning, I told you that ours is under developed. Then what is other word we are using? Developing. Actually, both are same. This is positive, this is negative. This is positive. Here there is hope. Developing. Continuous. Underdeveloped. So the word itself is, this is not encouraging. It is sounding negative. This is positive. Essence is same. So, number two. One second. About the first point, right? No license is required from the government. No license is required from the government. Atirusthi, Anarusthi. Earlier for everything, license. Now, no need of license. Number two, producers are free. Producers are free to decide everything about their production. Producers are free to decide everything about their production. What is this everything? What to produce? Where to produce? How much to produce? Price, distribution, etc. Earlier, why government restricted? Earlier, government restricted in order to protect the interest of. If government is not controlling producer, who will be affected? Earlier, government was thinking about the protection or welfare of the, but then now what about consumer? Now government says consumer will not consume or will not purchasing anything blindly. For example, now government is not controlling. Producer, government is not controlling. Producer of this water bottle puts 100 rupees price. Puts 100 rupees price because government is not controlling. He can decide the price. Earlier, government involved, interfered and controlled in order to protect the interest of consumer. Now government withdrew itself from the scene. Now the price is 100 rupees. It will be against the interest of the consumer. That is academic argument. Now government answer is consumer is not innocent. Consumer is not innocent. Then earlier, why government is interfering? Because this producer may create normally price is decided by demand and supply. Price is decided by Demand and supply. Please remember, here I have 6 water bottles. If there is no water in Hyderabad city, if only these 6 bottles are there in Hyderabad city, I can sell each bottle at 1 crore. I can sell each bottle at 1 crore because there is no supply. When there is sufficient supply, this can be only 3 rupees, 4 rupees maximum. How much? 10 rupees. We are not realizing we are spending more money for water than milk. 1 liter milk price?
75.
How much?
75 to 80.
75 to 80. 1 liter water? 1 second. 20. 20 in IMAX? Is it 20 in IMAX? How much? You go to any multiplex, what is the price of 1 liter water? 120 to 150. Liter milk? 60, 70 rupees. So, where we are paying more? Okay. So, earlier, in order to protect the interest of consumer, government was involving. Now, government says that consumer is not innocent. Earlier, government was arguing that this demand can be artificially created. During the admissions time, you call a study cycle. Sir, I am calling from Srikakulam. I want a general studies admission. Immediately, the fellow in reception, he says that, no, admissions are over. When receptionist says that admissions are over, you will not stop. You will start requesting. No. If you come to know that admissions are over, you are thinking that already 200, 300, 400 are there. You started requesting. No, sir, I'm calling from Srikakulam, far away from the please, one seat. Then receptionist, he says, okay, you give me 10 minutes time, I will request my director. I will request. He puts the phone and he spends some time with his own phone. No, he's not talking to anybody. He's a director come receptionist. And meanwhile, he is calling from Nagar, he is calling from Kurnool, you are calling from some other place. Same answer for everybody. And everybody started requesting. Okay, after 10 minutes, he says, okay, with a lot of difficulty, I convinced my director, you do one thing, general studies fees is 1 lakh and GST, you pay online, I will confirm your admission. So, because of his tension, he paid, you paid, I paid, everybody paid. So, what happened? Demand is created. So, that is why earlier government was involving. Second point, not second point, third point, entire economy has been left open. Entire economy has been left open. Entire economy has been left open for private capital. Left open for private capital. Earlier, what happened? In IPR 1948, exclusively reserved for state. In IPR 1956, 17 industries, key and basic and heavy industries. So here, left for capital, private capital, dash, exclusive reservation for the public sector has been cut down. Exclusive reservation for the public sector has been cut down only for the strategic areas. Only for the strategic areas. Only for the strategic areas. Fourth point, doors are opened for the multinational companies. Doors are opened for the multinational companies with a policy of with a policy of automatic approval. With a policy of automatic approval. You apply, I supply. Just automatic. So earlier, you have to apply, you have to wait years together. You go and read history of Infosys. Infosys, when they started Infosys, to receive first computer from US, they waited 3 years. They waited 3 years. If anybody wants to call anybody in other place on telephone, you have to book your call, you have to wait hours together. Fifth point, the MRTP Act was repealed. The MRTP Act was repealed. So earlier, Tatas were restricted, Birlas were restricted, Kirloskar was restricted. Why they were restricted? Why they were restricted? Because if monopoly was established, economic inequalities will be increasing. Please remember, there is a family, Kirloskar. One family of Kirloskars was living in Chandigarh. In 1970s, the range of economic inequalities, the daughter of Kirloskar, who were living in Chandigarh, was going to college in Delhi every day morning by special flight. And by lunchtime, her lunch was taken by another flight from Chandigarh to Delhi. And he again, madam was coming back to Chandigarh. That was the range of inequalities. Even today, they are there. Even today, many people have private jets. Many people have private jets. And sixth point, foreign exchange regulations were removed. Foreign exchange regulations were removed. Foreign exchange regulations were removed. Seventh point, imports are freely allowed. Imports are freely allowed. Actually, freely allowed means no license, no quota. Earlier there was quota. If you want to get anything from any foreign country, only limited quantity. Now, there is no limit. Whatever the taxes you need to pay, you have to pay. Here, freely means without license. It is not free of cost. And eighth point, all controls on price and distribution. All controls on price and distribution have been removed. Earlier, who decided the price? Who decided the distribution? Now both are left to producer. And please remember, producer cannot decide price according to his will. Because, as I told you, if water bottle is at 100, nobody will purchase. And producer is not ready to lose his money. That is why producer, he adds little margin and he tries to sell the product in the market. Last point number 9. Liberal incentives are given. Liberal incentives are given to private enterprise. To private enterprise to enter into infrastructure industries. Infrastructure industries. Underline infrastructure. Come to the beginning of today's class. On the eve of independence, India was an underdeveloped economy. So developed economy, underdeveloped economy, least developed economy, whatever it is decided by what? Infrastructure. So what we were lacking? We were lacking infrastructure. Today, what is there in 𝐾𝐶𝐽? Tell me, what is there in 𝐾𝐶𝐽? Infrastructure. What we don't have in our village? So simple. Infrastructure decides range of development. Next slide. NEP 1991. NEP 1991. NEP 1991 revolves around three concepts. Right in next line. Number one, liberalization. Right in bracket, economic liberalization. Economic liberalization. Number two, don't write in the same line, write in next line. Number two, privatization. Number three, globalization. So now you can close your notes. You can open your mind. You want lunch? Okay. Listen. The topic is LPG. Liberalization, privatization, and globalization. I can explain what is the liberalization in 10 minutes, privatization in 10 minutes, globalization in 10 minutes, but I thought of giving you complete background. So this is the background. By understanding this background, then if you start studying about what is liberalization, what is privatization, what is globalization, can be easily understood. Normally, in many topics, wherever you are not able to understand certain topics, real problem is background. Real problem is background and conceptual clarity. So, as far as this topic is concerned, today I stop here, and with the permission of madam, after a few days, I will take another class on completely LPG. Madam, these 3 hours roughly, we discussed about the background of LPG. So we started our journey in 1948. We came to 1991. We came to 1991 June 24th. Manmohan Singh introduced the new economic policy in Parliament. The House is adjourned.
Hope you have enjoyed the class. Sir is an MLA. Can you expect a politician speaking like this? How come then?
I'm not a politician.
Sir, you are a politician. Sir is a politician and also a intellectual. Sir, you have to agree. So, how is the session? Awesome. Yes. Sir will come back again and continue the class after a few days whenever he gets time. And most importantly, sir, your class is being watched by more than 1,000 students from Zoom, YouTube Live, and everyone. And everyone is appreciating live chat. Complete even my class. So, would you like to ask any question? Sir is actually working now as an MLA in Tirur constituency in Andhra Pradesh, and very tough constituency, not so easy to work in that constituency. He's an MLA. One question is allowed, one best question is allowed. One question, and sir will give one answer.
Question hour.
One question. One question, which is really.
This is controlled economy.
Sir, you are hungry, right? You are taking us from the last day of ours.
He is hungry.
Sir, I am going to news celebrate first time. How many of you know, sir, before this session? Oh. Okay.
APPSC వాళ్ళకి పార్టీలో మీటింగ్ పెట్టండి సార్.
అవును సార్, వీళ్ళు అందరూ ఎక్కువ సివిల్స్ అనమాట. ఈ రోజు తెలిసింది మీ గురించి వాళ్ళకి, మీ వాల్యూ. నా దృష్టిలో మోస్ట్ వాల్యుబుల్ ఎమ్మెల్యే. సో గివ్ ఎ బిగ్ క్లాప్ టు సార్. We'll invite sir again. Whenever sir comes to Hyderabad, he will come to the class. And sir is very passionate to teach to UPSC aspirants. And under his able guidance, there are hundreds of civil servants now working in the entire country. We expect that few of you will also become IAS very soon and definitely carry forward the legacy of not only 𝐶SB/IAS Academy but also 𝐾𝐸 sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Any question? One question. Anything outstanding question? Any question not about political science but about politics? You can ask.
I'd like to know what are the problems people are facing in your constituency. Major problems.
Major problems in your constituency.
They are universal.
చెప్పు తొందరగా. క్లాస్ అంతా జరుగుతుంది చెప్పు.
So based on today's class,
సరే.
today as part of my class, I introduced you to 3 of our friends. Population, unemployment, poverty. So these are the universal problems in any part of India, irrespective of politics. As a public representative, my experience or my personal feeling is governments are spending a lot. We are reading in the books about achievements of plans and everything. But at the grassroots level, whatever planning commission was talking earlier, now whatever Niti Yogi is talking, mostly not implemented because of corruption. The real problem of our country is political corruption. Pakistan terrorism or some other left extremism or some other anti-social elements, these are not keeping India underdeveloped or developing. Political corruption, and at the same time now bureaucrats are also competing with the politicians in corruption. So these two problems are same. No infrastructure, no proper housing. As part of infrastructure, no roads, no drinking water, and no water for agriculture. Every year we face floods, and water is simply going into ocean. We don't have sufficient reservoirs to reserve rainwater. the difference before 1991, after 91, literacy is increasing, but economic awareness is not increasing. Political responsibility is not there. Ethical responsibility, nobody feels ethical responsibility. So entire system is rotten, and everybody has a share. Somewhere it is caste, somewhere it is religion, all over it is corruption. Really, India is the greatest country in the world. India is greatest country in the world. You open Discovery of India, read first page. Discovery of India is a biography of Nehru. Nothing will happen to this world as long as India is there. And nobody can be there when India is not there. So, accidentally today, 75th anniversary of our Constitution. In the beginning I mentioned, the greatest document of modern world history is Indian Constitution. A galaxy of leaders, a galaxy of intellectuals prepared it. And they were selfless people beyond their region, religion, caste. Today we divide those great people into, we see Patel as Gujarati, Mahatma Gandhi as Gujarati, Ambedkar as a Dalit, or some other leader as Muslim. But we are all children of a great legacy. And I conclude with one example.
Sir, before that, I have a doubt. Can you give mic to me? One last doubt from me, sir. What makes you more satisfied, contented, and happy, whether it is politics or teaching? What makes you happy? Particularly teaching to the youngsters like our kids who are really enthusiastic to listen to lectures. What makes you, what actually makes you to feel happy, whether it is teaching or politics?
Before election, many friends were financially supporting me. Before election, they were supporting me financially to spend that money in election, to purchase votes, to spend in campaign. Before election, there were 10th class results. Election was May 13th. March or April, 10th class results. I was interacting with so many students. I was going door to door campaign. I was going to every house to ask votes. When I was interacting with the family members, normally if I see students in that family, my first question is, what do you study? So one day, one student was telling me, sir, today 10th class results are out. I got 545. Then spontaneously I told her, okay, those who crossed 500, you inquire among your friends. I will give 10,000 to each one. Then within 3 days, 600 students came. Within 3 days, 600 students came. Because nowadays students are very meritorious. And getting 500, I decided to encourage. So my friends were providing me funds to spend for election. I distributed 60 lakhs to 10th class students before election. the money which my friends were giving me to spend for my election, I distributed for 10th class students, 600 students. My idea is these 600 lives will be settled if they have good beginning of their intermediate education. 10th class is not, 10,000 is not sufficient, but 10,000 is a big amount for many poor families. So those 600 students, and later I distributed nearly 300 laptops for engineering students. And this year I adopted 5 MBBS students. One girl got medical seat in government medical college and going for agricultural work in village. Since she was not able to pay 12,000 fees, hostel fees, mess charges, it came in a newspaper. I saw a newspaper, I went to their village, I joined her in college, and I took her responsibility for the next 5 years. So my point is, only education can change, only education can change a family, or only education can change the society. Politics will not change, because politics today are money oriented, not ideology oriented. Now, irrespective of parties, leaders are spending crores of rupees. As a result, politics is today market economy. What is market economy? Is it welfare oriented or profit oriented? So I should not speak more. But it is not politics, it is not power. How many lives we are helping? Even tomorrow, after joining service, or I tell you live example, what is the biggest achievement of Balalata, if anybody asks? What is the biggest achievement of Balalata madam? I don't see how many crores she earned. I see how many lives she settled. How many students she helped. And in the beginning, she told that I was inspiring her. But the fact is, Madam is inspiring crores of people all over the country. Not only India. Balalata is not a name. Balalata is a Normally, people relax after seeing success. I see she is working more and more after more and more success. She's taking more responsibility and she's enjoying that responsibility. And she is working 24/7. And please remember, irrespective of result, effort of a teacher must be recognized and appreciated. Teacher cannot make you IAS, but teacher can show you the right approach. The right approach. And one more point. She has proved 2 times that many people might have discouraged her. But we were discussing about growth impulse. We were discussing about growth impulse. 5 to rise. Now, Balata is national fight.
Sir, thank you.
Because I don't get this opportunity to say. Because I see madam for last 20 years.
Sir knows from my first success to till date.
I know her. I see her journey. As I told you, irrespective of her success and irrespective of so many hurdles, she proved that she is far better than many successful people in our society. I feel Balata madam is greater than Mukesh Ambani.
సార్ ఒక మాట వద్దు సార్ వాళ్ళు భయపడతారు.
And personally, I don't say that madam has that much black money. Personally, I always wonder about her attitude. And I really shocked madam 2-3 times. The range you travel is really impossible for many people. Even now, she went to Ravindra Bharati, she attended a program, multitasking, and at the same time, we must thank and appreciate Balata madam for standing as a living example of a true inspiration. I wish I want to see Balata madam in parliament.
అమ్మో థ్యాంక్ యూ అన్నగారు, నాకు ఇంత సపోర్ట్ మాటలు పట్టినందుకు. ప్రతిరోజు నైట్ ఒకసారి ఆలోచిస్తాను ఇదంతా ఎందుకు చేస్తున్నానని. మా సిస్టర్ యూఎస్లో ఉంటుంది సార్. మా నాన్నగారు జర్నలిస్ట్, చనిపోయారు లేదు సార్, తెలుసు మా నాన్నగారు కూడా. మా చెల్లి రోజు నైట్ ఫోన్ చేస్తా 2 o'clock, నువ్వు వై డూ వర్క్ లైక్ ఏ డాంకీ, నాకు దుబాయ్లో బిజినెస్లు ఉన్నాయి, నువ్వు వచ్చి ఒక్క బిజినెస్ చూసుకో, నీకేం కావాలి చెప్పు, హ్యాపీ లైఫ్ దుబాయ్ లైఫ్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది తెలుసా అని ఊహించింది రోజు నైట్. కానీ నిన్న నైట్ అయితే రాత్రి అంతా ఆలోచించాను వెళ్ళిపోదామని, మళ్ళీ మీరు అందరు గుర్తొచ్చారు. సీరియస్ నాకు సీరియస్, నేను నైట్ నిద్రపోలా, ఓన్లీ మీరే గుర్తొచ్చారు. రీజన్ మీకు తెలీదు సార్. తణుకు వెళ్ళాను మొన్న. తణుకులో 8,000 మంది డిఫరెంట్ లేబుల్డ్, అందరూ ఒకటే చోట ఉన్నారు. ఓ పెద్ద ఆడిటోరియం, చాలా మంది ఎమ్మెల్యేలు వచ్చారు, ఎక్స్ మినిస్టర్లు వచ్చారు, అందరూ వచ్చారు. నన్ను చూడంగానే వాళ్ళ కళ్ళలో మెరుపుని చూసారా, ఇందుకు కదా నేను బతుకుంది, వీళ్ళ కోసం కదా నేను ఉంది, వీళ్ళకి చేయాలి అన్కండిషనల్ లవ్. కొంతమంది నా దగ్గర రాలేక పాక్కుంటూ వచ్చారు, కింద నుంచి బండులు నేర్చుకుంటూ వచ్చారు సార్. సో నాకు అనిపించింది దేవుడు నన్ను అందుకు పుట్టించాడు, ఇలా ఎందుకు పుట్టించాడు నేను ఎప్పుడు కోసం చేస్తా, కానీ వాళ్ళ కోసం నన్ను పుట్టించాడు. నాలాంటి వాళ్ళకి ఇన్స్పిరేషన్ లేకపోతే భూమి మీద ఎవ్వరు వాళ్ళకి ఇన్స్పిరేషన్ ఉండరు. వాళ్ళ కోసం నేను ఫైట్ చేయాలి. ఇంకొకరు వచ్చి చెప్పారు తెలుసా, మ్యామ్ స్మితా సబర్వాల్ అని మాట్లాడినప్పుడు మాకు చాలా బాధేసింది, మా కోసం ఆయన మాట్లాడతారనిపించింది, మీరు మాట్లాడారు కదా, మీరు 100 ఏళ్ళు బతకాలి మేడం అని చెప్పి. సో అది చాలు నాకు, ఆ ఒక్క క్రెడిట్ చాలు నాకు జీవితాంతం బతికినట్టు అనిపించింది. వాళ్ళు నాకు ఏమేమో, నేను వాళ్ళకి ఏమేమో, నో కండిషన్స్, ఇట్స్ అన్ అన్కండిషనల్ లవ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద పీపుల్ హూ వాంట్ లవ్ అండ్ హూ కెన్ గివ్ లవ్ అనమాట. అంత అద్భుతమైన లైఫ్ సార్ నాకు దేవుడు ఇచ్చింది. అందుకని ఎంత కష్టం వచ్చినా సరే దేవుడు మన సార్ కూడా పోరాడి వెళ్ళారు. సార్కి తెలియదు రిజల్ట్ ఎలా ఉంటుందో, సార్కి తెలియదు ఫైట్ ఎలా ఉంటుందో. ఒక్కడే సార్కి ఎవరు సపోర్ట్ ఉన్నారు, ఎవ్వరు లేరు, కానీ పోరాటం. నేను చాలాసార్లు టీవీలో సార్ ఇన్సిడెంట్స్ చూసి అబ్బో ఎంత ధైర్యం, ఏమైనా అయితే ఏంటి రేపు పొద్దున ఒకసారి పాప ఉంది వైఫ్ ఉంది అనుకున్నదని. ఆ ధైర్యమైన సార్ని ఒంటరిగా ముందుకు తీసుకెళ్ళింది అనమాట. మీకు కూడా చెప్పేది ఏంటంటే ప్రతి మనిషిలో సమాజంలో చాలా అంటే చాలా పైకి వెళ్ళే కొద్దికి, మీరు ప్రపంచంలోకి వెళ్ళే కొద్దికి విపరీతమైన అనుభవాలు వస్తూ ఉంటాయి. కానీ మనిషిలోంచి మంచి తీసుకోండి, చెడును వదిలేయండి, మంచిదే ముందుకు తీసుకురండి.
మిక్స్డ్ ఎకానమీ
మంచి తీసుకోండి. ఓకే. అండ్ సార్ న్యాయం చెప్పండి, మీరు కానీ నేను కానీ భూమి మీద ఎక్కడ వదిలేస్తే బతకగలం కదా?
ప్రతి బ్యాచ్ లో is there anybody who cannot understand Telugu?
అందరు మనమంటే తెలుగు వాళ్ళు.
ప్రతి బ్యాచ్ లో కొంత విసిగించే స్టూడెంట్స్ ఉంటారు. క్లాస్ చెప్పేటప్పుడు లేదా బ్యాచ్ జరిగేటప్పుడు కాస్త విసిగిస్తారు. ఒక ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ చెప్తాను నేను. ఒక 15 ఏళ్ల క్రితం ఒక బ్యాచ్ లో 2 అమ్మాయిలు ఉండేవాళ్ళు, 2 బిఎస్సీ చదివారు. క్లాసులో ఫస్ట్ కూర్చునేవాళ్ళు, ప్రతి క్లాసు వినేవాళ్ళు. ఇప్పుడు ఇండస్ వ్యాలీ క్లాస్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత అర్బన్ సివిలైజేషన్, అర్బనైజేషన్, హరప్ప, మొహంజదారో అయిన తర్వాత క్లాస్ అయిపోయినాక ఆఫీస్కి వచ్చి సార్ ఇప్పుడు వెళ్ళి చూసి రావచ్చా హరప్ప అని అడిగేవాడు. అమాయకత్వం. సరే గ్రీన్ రివల్యూషన్ క్లాస్ అయిపోయి ఫుడ్ గ్రెయిన్ ప్రొడక్షన్ విన్న తర్వాత సార్ ఒక 2 ఎకరాలు పొలం వేస్తే ఇంకా మంచి నాలెడ్జ్ వస్తుంది కదా సార్ అని అడిగేవాడు. అది ఏం చెప్పినా దే ఆస్క్ సంథింగ్ విచ్ ఈజ్ ఫన్నీ. ఇక వాళ్ళు వస్తున్నారు, క్లాస్ అయిపోయి ఛాంబర్లో కూర్చున్నప్పుడు వాళ్ళు వస్తున్నారంటే మనం చాలా మంది అనుకున్నా ఇగో వస్తుంది, తింటది, బుర్ర తింటది. ఇట్లా అయిపోయింది. ఎగ్జామ్స్ అయిపోయినాయి, అన్నీ అయిపోయినాయి. అంటే వాళ్ళిద్దరు కనపడితేనే విసిగిస్తారా బాబు అనుకునే ఇంప్రెషన్. ఒకరోజు లంచ్ టైంలో నా ఆఫీస్ నుంచి నా ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ ఇక్కడే సబ్ రిజిస్టర్ ఆఫీస్ ఎదురుగా నేను లంచ్కి బయలుదేరాను. వాళ్ళు ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ ఫస్ట్ ఫ్లోర్ మెట్లు ఎక్కారు, నాకు ఎదురయ్యారు. అంత దూరంలో ఉన్నారు. ఇక్కడ నా లంచ్ పోయింది, వీళ్ళు వచ్చారు, ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ స్ట్రా వేస్తారు, బుర్ర తింటారు అని నేను లోపల అనుకుంటున్నా. దగ్గరకు వచ్చారు. ముందు ఒక అమ్మాయి కాళ్ళ మీద పడి దండం పెట్టింది, తర్వాత ఇంకొక అమ్మాయి కాళ్ళ మీద పడి దండం పెట్టింది. నేను సడన్గా మనసులో ఏమనుకుంటున్నా, విసిగిస్తారా బాబు, వచ్చారా బాబు అనుకుంటున్నా. వాళ్ళు సడన్గా కాళ్ళకి దండం పెట్టారు. ఏంటమ్మా అనగానే ఇద్దరికి ఉద్యోగాలు వచ్చాయి. అని ఇప్పుడు ఏ ఉద్యోగం చెప్పట్లేదు, ఇద్దరికి మంచి ఉద్యోగం సర్వీస్ వచ్చింది. ఐఏఎస్ ఐపీఎస్ కాదు, వేరే సర్వీస్ వచ్చింది. ఇద్దరు కూడా లోయర్ మిడిల్ క్లాస్ ఫ్యామిలీస్. వాళ్ళకి అప్పుడు ఉద్యోగం రాకపోతే ఇక లైఫ్ అంతా క్వశ్చన్ మార్కే. ఒక్క క్షణం నాకు ఏమనిపించిందంటే, బుద్ధుడికి జ్ఞానోదయం అయింది కదా, మీరు చాలాసార్లు విన్నారు కదా. అసలు జ్ఞానోదయం అంటే ఏంటి? ఎవరైనా చెప్పండి. బుద్ధుడికి జ్ఞానోదయం అయింది అంటే ఏమైంది అసలు? కరెక్ట్ పాట అంటే ఏంటి? పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ లైఫ్ అంటే ఏంటి? అంటే ఏంటి? బుద్ధుడు ఇంట్లో నుంచి బయటికి రాకముందు, బిఫోర్ మహావినిష్క్రమణ 4 చూస్తాడు కదా. ఒక వృద్ధుడిని చూస్తాడు, an old man. The message from old man is physical strength is not permanent. The message of old man is youth is not permanent. The message of sick man is physical strength is not permanent. When he saw corpse, ఒక శవపేట కింద చూస్తాడు. Life is not permanent. ఈ మూడు చూస్తాడు. లేకపోతే he sees సన్యాసి. మరి జ్ఞానోదయం అనేటువంటి ఏం జరిగింది? చెట్టు కింద కూర్చుంటాడు కదా. ఆ చెట్టు కింద కూర్చున్నప్పుడు చెట్టు ఆకు రాలి కింద పడుతుంది. చెట్టు ఆకు రాలి కింద పడుతుంది. దెన్ హీ అండర్స్టాండ్స్. ఆకు ఎప్పుడు రాలి కింద పడుతుంది? పండిపోయిన తర్వాత కింద పడుతుంది. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ న్యాచురల్. It is natural. So it happens to everybody. నాకు ఆ పిల్లలిద్దరూ కాళ్ళ మీద పడంగానే నాకు ఏమర్థమైందంటే, యు ఆర్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ లైఫ్. దట్ ఈస్ వెరీ ఎమోషనల్ ఇన్సిడెంట్ ఇన్ మై లైఫ్. అప్పటి నుంచి నా దగ్గరికి ఏ స్టూడెంట్ వచ్చినా అందులో ఫీజు గురించి విసిగించే వాళ్ళు ఉంటారు, సబ్జెక్ట్ గురించి విసిగించే వాళ్ళు ఉంటారు. ఒకరోజు ఒక అబ్బాయి నా దగ్గరికి వచ్చి రిక్వెస్ట్ చేసి ఫీజు తగ్గించాలి సార్ అంటే, సరే తగ్గించాను. బయటికి వెళ్ళాడు. వర్షం పడుతుంది. పక్కన బాలాజీ దర్శనం ఉందండి, మెయిన్ రోడ్. వర్షం పడుతుంది. పక్కన గర్ల్ ఫ్రెండ్తో కూర్చొని ఐస్ క్రీమ్ తింటున్నాడు. 10 నిమిషాల క్రితం, పావు గంట క్రితం నా దగ్గరకు వచ్చి దేశంలో ఉన్న పేదరికం గురించి మాట్లాడాడు. కట్ చేస్తే బయట వర్షంలో మిరపకాయ బజ్జీలు ఎవడైనా తింటాడు. ఐస్ క్రీమ్ తినేవాడే. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ different experiences and they teach different emotions. Now he is a DGP level officer in Jammu and Kashmir. మీకు తెలుసు, మధ్యలో ఏపీ కూడా చెప్పాడు డిప్యుటేషన్ మీద.
మా వాడేనా సార్? మా ఫ్రెండేనా? నాకు తెలుసు, అడే పని చేస్తా.
మా గుంటూరు, మన గుంటూరు.
అదే అదే.
So working with the youth, working with the students makes life live and more emotional and fruitful. Because as a politician, what should I do? I have to help people for their development. Actually, help. One more point. I started free coaching for all competitive exams in my constituency. All competitive exams. Now group 2 prelims results are out. Mains is scheduled in February. I am starting crash course this month and this week. For those who are preparing for exam, government jobs, government job is their target. Let us help them. If somebody is coming with a business idea, I will encourage. So making people settle in life is our duty as a teacher or as a people's representative. But I enjoy teaching because it is not about economic aspects. As I believe, only education can change anything. So through education, Balata madam or people like myself, we are trying to change this world, or we are trying to help people to reach their goals. Really 3 hours they cooperated very disciplined and very good students.
సార్ మీరు చెప్పిన ఐస్ క్రీమ్ సీన్ నేను కూడా చూసాను మా ఫ్రెండ్ది, నా బెస్ట్ ఫ్రెండ్. అయితే నేను అడిగా అమ్మాయి అసలు అంతా నార్మల్ ఉంటుంది అనమాట, ఏం నచ్చింది నీకు అమ్మాయిలో అని. ఊరికి ఆడమ్మ అడగనుంది, సీక్రెట్గా పిలిచి నాకు ఇలాంటి కోడలు వద్దని అడుగు, నువ్వు ఫ్రెండ్ కదా చెప్తాడని. ఏం చెప్పాడు తెలుసా, అమ్మాయి అందరికి పేద పిల్లలకి చాక్లెట్లు ఇస్తా ఉంటుందంట, అది నచ్చిందని. ఓకే, తర్వాత మనవాడి కంటే అందమైన అబ్బాయి దొరికేది తెల్లగా, ఆ అమ్మాయి వెళ్ళిపోయింది. నిజంగా 2 ఏళ్ళు ఏడ్చాడు మా వాడు, 2 years ఏడ్చాడు. ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు కూడా ఏడిపిస్తుంది అబ్బాయి ఏడిపింది కదా అని చెప్పి. నాకు ఇంకా అది ఆ అమ్మాయి అబ్బాయి సీన్ మొత్తం సార్ చెప్పిన సీను. ఒకటే ప్లేట్లో పకోడీలు తింటాం, ఒకటే ఐస్ క్రీమ్ తింటాం, బాగా గుర్తు మాకు.
But one thing, madam, just 2 minutes I want to tell you one thing. November is over. December, January, February, March first week, 100 days. December, January, February, March first week, or March 10 days. 100 days. These 100 days are sufficient to crack prelims. If anybody feels that till now I did not complete anything, or I did not complete any segment, something like that, you just plan and work out that plan. 100 to 120 days with focus and orientation. Orientation means what to study, how to study. 120 days. If you qualify prelims, you will get a feeling that you are the best in Ashok Nagar. If you miss prelims, you will get the reverse feeling. Everybody is better than me in Ashok Nagar. So, if you crack prelims, you will be getting a service in next 1 or 2 years. If you miss prelims, first prelims, it will have MRTP effect. It will kill growth impulse. Though you are working very hard, though you have every quality to get service, that is why coming 4 months are deciding your life. Not prelims result, your life. These 4 months, really 4 months into 10 hours a day, because last 4-5 months, not 4 hours, 5 hours, 10 to 15 hours. So my suggestion is, these 120 days you plan properly and identify fishing zones. A fisherman doesn't fish in every part of the ocean. He goes to a particular place, there he throws his net. Like that, fishing zones. So in prelims, what is the segment with the highest marks?
Sometimes polity, sometimes geography.
So you have to have that order. Highest marks in prelims. What is polity, geography, environment, or economy, current affairs? That order. For example, in that order, first top 4, you must be a master of top 4. And again, in every subject, in polity, you revise previous questions. Frequently or regularly, you can see a question from fundamental rights regular, or even in fundamental rights, particular fundamental right. Identify such areas are called fishing zones. Some students, just they are coming to Ashok Nagar, giving first attempt, qualifying prelims, qualifying mains and getting some service. what they are doing. Some students, they are implementing 5-year plan, but growth rate is
Zero.
negative. What is wrong? Those who are cracking in first attempt, how? Those who are not making it even 3-4 times, what is wrong? Forget about first, second one. At least about first one, positive things. You just study in 3-4 days, simple 3-4 months. If you qualify prelims, you will qualify mains. Because after qualifying prelims, everything will be positive. Everything will be positive. Positive thinking, positive attitude. Physically also, you will be very active. And though you studied very hard, if you don't qualify prelims, everything will be again negative. So my strong suggestion is next 120 days are going to decide your life. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the patience. I know that you are very hungry, right? I think most of your hostels would also be completed the lunch. What do you do now? Okay. Next time we have lunch on 7, sir. Thank you. Bye.